Hey runners, how's it going? Here we are with 9 weeks to go for my Boston qualifier marathon training. And today I'll give you a quick update on what happened this week. And I want to talk about a big surprise I had um, just a couple days ago and how you can expect these sort of things to happen when you stick to Maffetone style training for your running. So let's get into it. This last week's long run was 14 miler. And as far as how the run went for me, it felt pretty good. There was a long uphill finish and I felt worse than I should have going up there, but I got it done. So I checked that box off of. And I know in previous years, a 14-mile run and I'd just add a mile or two to it because I'd feel good, but that definitely wasn't the case this last week. But I'm still on schedule and I feel happy about that. Our long run this coming Saturday is just an 8 miler, so I'll probably just do 12 or 14 miler instead. The training group I'm in, they're following the Galloway marathon training method where every other week you have kind of an 8 mile recovery run, and then the following week you up the mileage by a couple miles each time, which is a great way to go. But I'm good with putting in a 12-mile effort, let's say, instead of an 8 mile, because I feel very comfortable doing that. So that's what I'll be doing this coming week. Now, what I want to talk about today was that I had a big surprise on my Tuesday morning 8 mile run. This is a run I do with a couple of friends. We meet up every Tuesday morning and we do it at a leisurely pace and generally right around 10 to 10-20 minute per mile pace. Uh, so it's pretty comfortable and I keep track of my heart rate while I'm doing this. And usually I'm in the 125 to 127 range. Maybe if the weather's bad or we run a little faster, it might bump up to 130. But the 120, 127 range has been my Maffetone standard training heart rate for actually the last couple 3 years, and it's worked out very well for me. The one thing that happened was the stars aligned for some reason, and I just felt really good this last Tuesday morning for the run, and we didn't run any faster. I think it ended up being maybe a 10-20 pace. We were just going along yakking, but my heart rate was much lower the whole time, and I felt good. And after the run, my average heart rate for the run was at 118, which was fantastic. That hasn't happened since I had my heart attack last year. I used to experience that before, but this is the first time it's happened for a year. So that was really cool. And so what does that mean? Is it all of a sudden I've made this tremendous change and from now on my runs are going to be at that lower rate? No, this is probably just a one-off thing, but that's something you can expect after you keep doing Maffetone training over an extended period of time. And there's two things that you'll notice that'll happen. And because this is a slow process, both of these things will generally just happen out of the blue, and you'll go from one plateau to another plateau. And the two things are, number one is your weight. So if you're eating right and following the Maffetone method on your runs so that you end up being solidly in your fat burning zone all the time, find that suddenly you'll just drop like 5 pounds or you'll drop like 10 pounds. It won't be a pound a week, you'll just be going along and then all of a sudden, whoop, your pants start to fall off. That's what happened to me after about a year. I just, bam, I dropped 5 pounds and just out of nowhere. So it's pretty cool, but it's aggravating too, because you can be going along with this kind of training for 3 to 6 months and not see a big change. But if trust me, if you stick with it, you'll hit these kind of milestones where all of a sudden you'll be at a different level. And that can happen with your weight. And then the other thing can happen with your speed at your training heart rate, where when you keep all your training at that one low heart rate and you're just jogging along and you don't feel like you're getting any faster, you'll notice again out of nowhere suddenly that all of a sudden you're running faster at that same heart rate. And it doesn't go on a curve, it just jumps up on you. And again, that can be very frustrating. And that's where it's difficult for people to stick with the Maffetone method, because you can go 3 to 6 months without seeing a big change, but it can happen and it will happen if you stick to it. Now, what happened to me this week is another thing you can expect to happen, where if you're very comfortably at a certain plateau with your heart rate training at a certain pace, there'll be days when all of a sudden you'll be out there cruising along and your heart rate will be a lot lower. And it's cool when it happens. It's just, wow, I'm just really cruising along here and I'm not even working at all. And will that relate to an overall change? It might or it might not. But as you continue along with this process, you will get faster at that one set heart rate. And you'll experience more often than not times when you'll be able to run faster or that heart rate will drop significantly at that same pace. And that's the beauty of following the Maffetone method for your training. So anyway, I just wanted to, if you're thinking about starting Maffetone style training, or you've been doing it for a few months and you're not really seeing the results, the big results that you are expecting, all I got to say is keep the faith, stick with it. It'll happen to you. It happened to me. It's happened to all my coaching clients that I've helped in the past. Stick with it and you'll see some amazing things happen just out of the blue. Hope you enjoyed this. If you want to learn more about Maffetone style training, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.